No Shirley tonight, Merle? No?
No.
She getting bored with us, huh?
Oh, hello, Judy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Brought you guys a Boy Scout. Brought you an Eagle Scout.
Okay.
Is Mr. Garham coming tonight as well?
We haven't heard from him. I haven't heard anything from him.
Oh.
What do you got? Huh?
Hmm?
You got Karen, pick them up?
What's that?
We do those.
Oh, the microoms?
Yes, we do those.
So you pronounce your last name Seeley? Not silly? Seeley, right?
Depends on the day.
Seeley.
Celia, yeah.
Depends. Good one, Ma. I assume you're his mother, correct?
I am.
You should have said, I'm his sister.
That depends on the day too.
I'm ready.
Ready? Supervisors, are you ready? John?
Yes.
All right. Vernon Town Board of Supervisors meeting for March 1st, 2018, 6 p.m. will come to order. All rise for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Thomas Berg.
Present.
Supervisor Gary Wildy.
Present.
Supervisor Ed Moline.
Present.
Supervisor Bill Craig. Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum of your board present. Supervisor Jeff Millings has an excused absence, and DBW Director John Henneberry is here also.
All right, thank you. Open meetings compliance.
Mr. Chairman, the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon Town Hall to the media on the Town of Vernon's website and other businesses within the Town of Vernon. You're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Item 6, Chairman announces a possible closed session. All right, there may be a closed session. Item 7 is, I'm going to read the closed session. Motion to go into closed session. Consideration and possible action on a motion to convene into executive session under Wisconsin Stat 19.85 Pren 1 Pren E, deliberating and negotiation and purchase of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require with closed sessions, more specifically for their border agreement with the Village of Mugwanago and in cooperative boundary agreements with the community bordering the town of Mugwanago and negotiating the Village of Waterford for shared fire equipment. And possible action on a motion to convene the executive session under Wisconsin State Stat 19.85 Pren 1 Pren C, considering employment promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data for a public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, specifically the performance evaluation of the Vernon Fire Chiefs. Included in closed session will be Town of Vernon Supervisors, Town of Vernon Chiefs, meaning Chief assistant chief and the 2 battalion chiefs, and town clerk. Motion will require a roll call vote. Okay, that will be at the end of the meeting. All right, miscellaneous matters, item A. Proclamation for Eagle Scout Achievement for Eric Truman and John Seeley. All right. I see there's one here. Would you like to come up to the front of the desk here? Sit at the desk. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So, Eric, can you give us, Eric, correct?
That's on Eric.
Or
That's John.
John, can you give us a description and a little bit of what you did for your Eagle Scout badge?
For my Eagle Scout badge, I needed to earn 21 merit badges, 11 of them being Eagle Scout merit badges. Many of them I'm wearing in my sash today. And then I needed to lead a community service project, which I completed at the Town of Vernon Fire Department. I created a memorial porch for so the firefighters there, and needed to be in the troop for at least 6 months being active, so that means I need to go to the meetings every week and go on the camp outs.
Okay, and you can tell everybody a little bit about how you did your project and what you raised for your project?
For my project, I created that memorial porch, and I had, right next to the driveway, I had some landscaping excavated with the help of Mr. Henneberry, and I asked a concrete company to come in and pour some concrete down, and my fellow troop members helped me spread some gravel and then help put the forms down for the concrete, and then I did some landscaping to the right side of that, put some plants down. It's March right now, but they'll blossom May and June when it starts raining again. And then we had a pedestal built and a bronze helmet mounted on top of that.
And the bronze helmet is for?
It's for the fire department and showing memorial.
All right, that's very nice. Supervisor, do you have any questions? No? All right, with that being said, I'm going to read the plaque here. This is an Eagle Scout proclamation. It says, whereas the goals of scouting are to develop citizenship, character, and personal fitness, and whereas the rank of Eagle Scout has always carried a special significance, and whereas a Boy Scout must fulfill requirements in the areas of leadership, service, and outdoor skills, and whereas most badges signify the mastery of certain Scout crafted skills as well as service to increase proficiency in an area of personal interest. And whereas John has earned the rank of Eagle Scout, and most appropriate that we recognize this accomplishment, now therefore be resolved that I, Thomas G. Bird, Chairperson of the Town of Vernon, do hereby proclaim that Sunday, March 18th, the Eagle Court of Honor Day in honor of John Joseph Seeley in the Town of Vernon. I recommend this observant to all citizens. John, would you let me get this plaque, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I also have a plaque for Eric Germain?
Girl.
And
Pardon?
I'm happy to give it to
Girl.
him.
Okay. And it reads the same way here, whereas the goals of scouting are to develop citizenship, and whereas the rank of Eagle Scout is also carried a special significance. And whereas Boy Scouts must fulfill requirements in the area of leadership, service, and outdoor skills, and whereas most badges signify the master of such skills, and whereas the Eric has appropriately recognized these accomplishments. Now therefore be resolved, I, Thomas G. Byrd, Chairperson of the Town of Vernon, do hereby proclaim March 18th the following Eagle Court of Honor Day in honor of Eric German. All right.
Can I have John's plaque? Tom? That's John.
She's not here, correct?
No, yeah, but you gave him the wrong one.
Oh,
We did take care of this as well.
all right.
Yeah, I'm coming. Do you mind?
So,
Isn't it?
no.
Thanks, Mrs. Sealy. Sister of John. You're welcome.
All right. All right, item B, resolution 2018-5, resolution authorizing reimbursement for mileage of town officials and committee volunteers for the town of Vernon. All right, we had this on the agenda before, and we wanted to put some verbiage in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas it says commuting expenses between a person's residence and a business location within the area of the person's tax home are not deductible even if the work is done during the commute. Eddie, that was one of the questions that you had on there. Does that significantly accomplish what you wanted to say?
Correct.
All right.
You want a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2018-05, resolution authorizing reimbursement for mileage for town officials and committee volunteers for town of Vernon.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item C, residents serving on committee, commissions, and boards. This is supervisor number 4. Bill, do you want to take that?
Sure. The reason I had brought this up in the past, there's, of all our committees and commissions, there's only one, actually commission, who requires in writing that the members be residents of the town, and that is the fire commission. I have some concerns. I think we should have all committee members, even though they're volunteers, all committees should be represented 100% by town of Vernon residents. The reason being, it's very easy to have conflicts. If you're not a resident of the town of Vernon, how can you vote? First of all, are you even aware of all the issues in the town of Vernon if you're not a resident? And secondly, how can you vote for the town without mixed opinions on certain issues? So I would like to see the verbiage that is on the fire commission, where it says the Board of Fire Commissioners shall consist of 5 commissioners, and then the important phrase, all of whom shall be Adel-town residents. So I'd like to see that either introductory verbiage to chapter 9 or inserted with each committee, however we would want to do it.
Gentlemen?
I'd like to see it right under chapter 9, board commissions and committees as a requirement, if we're gonna do that, rather than put it into each one. Just make one statement up top that covers all of the committees. And I agree, it could create a conflict.
I think this came about when we had a person who basically is on the commission, on one of the committees who lives in the village of Mugwanago, but owns property in the town of Vernon, and was using it as a residence for a membership on the committee, I believe. So I think that's where Bill, where you're getting at, is that he would like to see that, I think the verbiage then would have to state that it has to be a, resident living in the town of Vernon, not just a resident property, owning property. And, I don't know how that could be phrased.
Well, if you own property, it doesn't necessarily make you a resident.
No,
You
no.
have to live here to be a resident, so
Right.
that's pretty much
Okay.
self-explanatory.
But it's, as long as it's, I don't have any objection to that at all. I believe that Bill is on the right path, that if you're going to be discussing or doing town business, you should be a resident of the town.
Well,
You might
Bill's,
wanna put in full-time resident,
Or primary
Primary.
residence.
Primary
Residence.
residence, yeah.
well, do you,
primary leaves it open to.
Go ahead, Tom.
Bill, do you wanna work with the clerk to get that verbiage put in, so we can bring it back next?
I guess I'd agree with that too, if we put it right under the chapter 9 heading. It would just automatically encompass all of it.
All right, well, then you work with the clerk and get it the way you want it, and then we'll bring it back and put it on next time's agenda and then vote on it. How's
And the
that
only
sound?
other question would be, should we be pulling it out of the fire commission paragraph?
Oh, yeah.
So we don't have duplication.
Yeah, it's the,
It's 9-8,
yeah, it's the first
paragraph A1.
paragraph.
I agree with that. There's no sense in being redundant on it.
No.
Okay.
Done.
So, Madam Clerk, Bill will work with you on that, and then we'll have that on the agenda for the 15th.
You're not gonna be here, does that matter?
So, I'm gonna look here once. It's April.
What, April 5th or March 14th? 15th?
No, we can do that. You can get that worked out with her by the 15th, right, Bill?
Sure.
All right. We'll do that the 15th. Okay. Item B, Resolution 2018-6, a resolution changing Vernon Town Park hours. Do you have the resolution before you? The verbiage on there is changed from sunrise to sunset, and agenda. I don't see any other changes.
The attorney said it should be an ordinance, it can't be a resolution. The attorney said it can't be done by resolution, it has to be done by an ordinance.
And now,
To change the ordinance.
On motion?
yeah,
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2018-06, with resolution changing park hours at Town of Vernon Parks.
I'll second.
any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Approval of a salt brine tank for DPW capital projects in the amount of $97.56, DPW director. That's you, John.
Yeah, we just got that in a couple of weeks ago. We put that into capital equipment. I don't know if we'll have that installed yet this season. We gotta hook up the electrical and stuff for that, but the intent was just to get it so we have it ready for next year. So
Can you explain how that exactly works?
that's a 925 gallon tank that's mounted on the back of a truck. When we know there's gonna be some icy weather or something coming, we'll be able to go out and pre-spray the roads with salt brine to eliminate icing. Our goal was to hit the shady spots, hills and intersections was the main goal here. Basically, it's gonna help keep in the freezing.
Is this like the system that's on the back of the new truck there?
It's a salt brine pre-wet system. That actually pre-wets the salt as it's getting spread out. This, it just sprays the brine right down onto the road.
Oh,
So if you ever seen the county will do it on the
Yeah.
bridges and whatnot, you'll see lines going down the road, that's actually a salt brine. And sometimes they mix the beet juice with that, to make it stick, or helps it lower the temperature,
which one's more effective, John?
the
Does they
salt.
both work about the same?
Yeah, I'm very happy with the pre-wet system that we've got so far. It's, reduced the salt on that truck by 20%.
Cool.
So every time you're out, you're saving that 20% on salt usage, so. But, this is a whole different thing. Like I said, this is gonna be out ahead of the storm. You're gonna be out anti-icing roads and the bad areas to try and prevent any icing ahead of time. So,
Question for you. Right now, we have one of the pre-mix,
pre-wet
and
system.
then we'll have one of this one. They both have to do 72 miles apiece, or you just use them
No,
in critical spots?
the one that we have now is on that particular route only.
Okay.
And our goal is to, next year, start adding, we can
Okay,
buy the
so you are
systems.
gonna-
Yeah, we can buy the systems and have them adapted to our trucks that we have.
You're gonna put this in the budget for another one for next year then, basically?
For the pre-wet system, for the
Yeah.
back of the truck, I would like to, yes.
Okay.
So these are is this gonna be a test program as well? And they're gonna
Yes,
fix
this
it
is,
between the two,
a
or-
lot of other communities have been using these, some of them have trailers, some of them use them right in the back of the trucks. You know, I know there's like, the county uses a lot of it on the freeway, like I said, bridges and stuff like that, so,
There's budget money available for this, I assume?
absolutely, we're way under budget on that.
Okay.
Will we be able to, we've got that tank on the salt shed that gets water and brine, actually water into it that drains around, but will we be able to use any of that in?
That's not pure enough, it's not gonna be mixed exactly. It's gotta be like 23%.
So how do we empty that tank?
Yeah.
We actually use that when we just take it out, we'll put it on the roads, spread it on the roads. And a lot of people call and question, what do you spread on the roads? Well, it's basically, it's the runoff from that salt brine. And it's got some salt mixed in it, whatever, on the pad out there, will go down, and that's what you were asking earlier. We have to contain that, and we can't let that, you
How
know,
often do you empty that?
whenever it gets full. It depends on the rain, obviously, and the runoff, the melt off, you know.
Yeah.
So what are you using now to put that in to spread it?
we're not spreading, we're just dumping it out. We got a pipe that comes out the tank, and as we go down the road, we'll just spread it as we drive down the road. So, but this has actually got nozzles, you know, across
Right.
the whole width of a lane, so,
It's more a sprayer than a,
right.
So there's a pump with that?
There's a pump on the unit. It's actually, we got the hydraulic pump that hooks right into the hydraulics of the truck. So there's not a separate engine for it, no.
Where did this come from?
Veritech is actually from Minnesota.
Okay.
need a motion on that, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to make a motion to approve $8,550.80 out of the DPW budget to purchase.
No, it's
You have the wrong price.
97.
on the bottom.
I'm only gonna give 85. No, 97.56.90, I'm sorry. To approve the 925 gallon 1 lane anti-ice system. Sorry, John.
That's,
Is there a second?
I'll support the second.
Any more discussion? Any more questions?
Yeah, what's the right number?
I gotta pick up shipping, Ed?
Yeah, pick up the rest.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Award bid for the town of Vernon 2018 road projects. In front of you, gentlemen, we've got the bids. There was this yellow sheet in front of you here.
Yeah.
That has, in my packet, I don't know if that happened in your packet. In
Yeah,
my packet,
chopped
the, bid tabulation, the last one, and the engineer's one was,
Yeah.
I couldn't read it.
But it was emailed to you twice, just
Yeah.
because I just didn't want you to think
But I
that.
wanted you to have that as part of the packet if you save this stuff or whatever you do for it. So, John, you wanna comment?
Yeah, just basically, we got the three bids, Stark Wolf and Painted Dolan. And Andy was here opening the bids, and the engineer's estimate was at $238,917.75. And Painted Dolan came in at $224,469.85. And they were the cheapest, they're the lowest bid compared to Wolf Paving at $247,800.05, and Stark was at $248,455.25.
Any questions?
Yes, well,
It's kind of interesting how Painted Dolan stays pretty well under on all categories.
Yeah. Well, I think it helps being local. You know, they're right down the road, so they can,
Sure.
they're hoping to get the close work, you know.
I just had one question on the actual letter from Ford. It says the engineer's estimate for the total bid was $238,917.75. What does that mean, his?
That's but for budget, when we talked about budget numbers.
Okay.
So it's below budget,
Oh, yeah.
below what we.
Right.
That's what John used as a budget bill. That, if you look at your, budget worksheet,
Yeah.
and you go, that's the number that's plugged in the DPW category there for roads.
so you got a little savings.
It's about $14,000 less than what
Right.
the budget's gonna read.
I will make a motion to approve Painted Dolan's bid for the road program for $224,469.85.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
Tom, need to bring up that little section there, or wanna discuss that?
Yeah, if you wanna throw that in there.
At the end of our, where we stopped for paving at Scenic Drive, there's gonna be a section about 200 feet to Big Ben's, line. Well, we're actually stopping at the line, but there's a section about 200 feet that needs to be paved, where they came in from the east and stopped previously, I don't know how many years ago. But I just wanted to throw it out there, if you guys wanted to offer Big Ben the opportunity to jump on board, and if they would pay for that section to get done right away, we figured out it'd be about $13,000 for them, you know.
Got 14 in the budget.
No, it would be off of them, it would be totally up to Big Ben to decide if they wanna do it.
Yeah,
This
what
is not
John is
go-
saying is that's their section of road.
Yeah,
But as long as Payne and Dolan is there, grinding it, pulverizing it, doing
Saying the whole
it,
big
that
trucks,
extra
everything
200
goes through.
feet to where it's good road would be advantageous to the whole community if Big Ben would say, yeah, get a bid and
Have
we'll
you
pay
talked
for
to
that
them?
and we'll do it.
Not yet.
Unless they wanted to do it as a separate
Yeah,
contract with
yeah.
them or whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought, I would throw it out there, and before I threw it out there, talk to you guys and see if that was fine.
Is that little curve?
He's got a map.
It's, if you look, we're stopping right here at Scenic Drive, comes down from Big Ben.
Right.
And then here's Howard Strickler's place is right here.
Okay.
So it's, you know, a little section right there is about 200 feet. It's gonna be about $13,000, but it would be up to them to decide if they wanna do it. I'm just throwing it out there to be neighborly, say,
Yeah.
you know, now's the time if you wanna maybe get a deal on it. Give them the opportunity.
You can talk to them, see if they're willing to.
Well, I would think that, we just put it in a letter form
Yeah.
and ask them if they would, you know, we're gonna be paving there,
Yeah.
if they wanted to get a separate contract with Payne and Dolan in that area.
I mean, it's totally up to them.
You know, they can say yes or they can say no or whatever.
Yeah.
But if, you know, if they don't, and residents say, hey, why didn't you? Well, we contacted them.
And they said no.
Well,
They
it
didn't-
saves them money.
They
They'd be
didn't
smart
wanna,
to do it.
you know, it'll save them money, it'll do
They're
whatever.
right there.
It's just kinda foolish not to ask them.
Yeah, okay. I don't have any objection to it.
So what, do we need a motion to allow John to put a letter out to him then?
Yeah, put John craft a letter and,
I'll make a motion to ask John to get together with Karen, get a letter crafted to Big Ben, requesting, information whether they'd like the cost savings, 13 grand, to put that onto the road program for Payne and Dolan.
I don't think we ought to put any numbers in there, I think we should just say, hey, we're gonna be in the area, we're gonna pave their Payne and Dolan is our contractor.
Well, if you do that though, the first question, common sense would say the first question I should ask is how much.
Exactly.
Okay,
And then,
let him come back and ask, I guess. So
Maybe-
without a price.
maybe they got somebody cheaper, I don't know.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept that and write a letter to Big Ben.
There, excuse me, there wouldn't be any ditching involved here, correct?
No.
Just surface.
Just right.
Yeah, that's just surface work
Cause
there.
that water's gotta be whistling down that hill.
Yeah, we're actually, they'll be on top of the hill yet, before it crests the hill.
Okay.
They came up to the top of the hill from the east side and they stopped. And then, like I said, from there west is where we're gonna stop, about 200 feet. So that section between there, I think it's just
No
gonna,
man's land.
it's gonna be kinda foolish not to do something with it, you know? And obviously, that's not ours to do something with, so.
Okay.
I was out there, Wednesday and looked at it. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, well, we drove down there last week, Artesian, it's horrible.
Yeah. I went back during the day and looked at it.
Worse.
It's it needs work. All right, been moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. So John, when you get that letter, put it in our mailboxes and where we can look at it. And
Sure.
then if anybody's got any problem with it, we can talk to John. And otherwise, if John doesn't hear anything, go ahead and get it out to him. Okay. All right, discussion on the Vernon Activity Center.
I just heard today from them, they got their, all their test results done. The total ended up being 585 for their
What they
samples.
find?
Just 3 spots, the siding, there's a little spot downstairs, was around the old, heating work, and there was some tile just behind behind
Just some of it?
Yeah, just some of it, the stuff
Like
that
we're
was,
repair or something.
it was on a concrete surface, the other stuff was on a wood surface. The stuff on the wood surface is, they call it, Fallon,
Yeah.
it fraddles or whatever, non-fraddles. But, so yeah, basically, they said they could remove the asbestos for, it was $4,442 was their cost for asbestos removal. And I talked to them about demoing that out. And they said during demolition, most likely you'd have to have somebody that's licensed or certified on site while the demolition is taking place. And he says, our guy, you can have a guy standing out there for $65 an hour that's certified, and if you find something while you're demoing that they missed or whatnot, I think it's just I think that's a mandatory thing the way it sounds, because a lot of these demolition companies have a certified person on staff.
So
So,
you're talking about having a certified person on staff when they're removing that
no,
asbestos?
if, for the actual demolition of the building. For removal, that's up to them. That would just, they would be able to come in and do the removal on their own. So, if we get to the point where we decide you wanna go ahead and demolition needs to start, that's when you would have to have somebody on site.
Is that mandatory, or is that their requirement, a state requirement, or is that the contractor telling you should have somebody there?
He kinda made it sound like it was DNR was gonna make that happen. Mark Davis is the guy from the DNR.
How long would it take to knock a building like that down and get rid of it?
Well, like I said, you could have it got down in a day, 2 days maybe, you know?
John, do they have a staff member capable of being the on-site
They do,
inspector?
yes, that's what he said. He
How
could,
surprising.
Did they give you an estimate on that for?
$65 an hour.
Yeah.
But like I said, for the actual asbestos removal,
4,400.
44, 42, yes. And that's with the DNR permit, and, they
Well,
just.
now that we know what we have to get rid of, now we can have them other companies bid that too, correct?
Well, you could have them, yeah, I would suppose you could
Well,
bid it out for.
we got it supposed to, we're, you know, we
Yeah.
always get 3 bids on that stuff, we just take the fellow that did that, you know, that's not following what we normally do. I don't see any real hurry.
No.
Nobody's using it anyways.
No,
I would
and
like to see a couple more bids in on that and just check bids just to see.
Sure.
And then we can ask them too what their, would charge for somebody to,
Stand there and watch it.
How long's the quote good for?
he said, I told him this is not gonna happen anytime soon, he says, we'll honor it, don't worry, he says, you got.
Okay. No problem.
I told him it'd be a spring, summer project probably, so
We could get that done that time.
He's-
No problem.
he's well aware of it.
Well, the fire department's here too, we can talk to them. To see what it takes to use that house as a training or whatever.
Yeah.
Get the asbestos out.
Yep.
So we can do that. The main thing is to get the asbestos removed.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that we should get the other bids on that and just see.
Now bring the marshmallows.
They haul it down the road and dump it right next to our garbage in the same landfill, right?
Well, yes, basically, that's what he said, that the one dumpster that might have a little bit of stuff in there, he says you gotta take it to Waste Management, they have a separate spot in the site that they dump it.
So
Supposedly,
they gotta give us some certificate stating they took it to a legal
Yeah,
dump site, so that
that's what-
we're immune from prosecution
Yeah.
later? Cause I know several people that got burned on that.
yeah, well, I agree, something's gotta be documented, otherwise,
This sounds like
Yeah,
a
but-
racket.
The lead paint issue, that's a non-issue now, right?
that's, not unless it's on the concrete, that's all they told me, that's,
So you wanna table this for the time being again?
Well, I think we should just direct,
Trying to get a couple more bids.
correct.
Okay.
That's what I would make a motion to do.
That's
Yeah.
the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion?
Did you have trouble getting bids originally? I thought we saw an effort to get multiple bids. It didn't go anywhere because you only got one response.
well, the other guy was like $1,600, and we opted not to go with him for the testing. And, first guy told me we didn't need to get the asbestos removed, so.
You comfortable you can get a couple more bids?
I think if I
in that
look,
timeframe?
if I look hard enough, yeah, that was just off the top,
Just a quick shot?
yeah, so I think we can,
Okay, sorry, just wanted to verify.
No, that's quite all right. Been moved and seconded.
Is this the demo?
Now
it?
Johnny gets
Pardon?
some more
Is this the
bids
demo
on the
it?
removal process.
Oh, just for the abatement?
asbestos.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Town of Vernon, Town of Waukesha request for assistance with Public Works Project, cooperative agreement. All right, gentlemen. We had, John and I were over there and we talked. John, did you ever get over to, look at their equipment and talk to them?
I did yesterday
Okay.
morning.
Okay. And,
Well, personally, they don't have a lot to offer that we don't already have. The one thing that they do have that we don't have is a hot box for asphalt. And it's a 2-ton hot box. And that'd be for more patching than anything, because a lot of times when we're doing the road repairs, we're going through 10, 15 tons of asphalt. So a 2-ton hot box is not gonna be adequate, but it would be nice for patching potholes and smaller stuff, but. So as far as equipment wise, yeah, I think, you know, they've got the 4 trucks that are similar to ours and a little smaller bucket truck, but equipment wise, I think we're, you know, I think that would be what we would use the most, or it would be benefit the most of, I would think.
okay. So, we've got our labor rates, we've got Town of Waukesha equipment, our equipment rates, labor rates. What do you gentlemen want to do with this?
Find out what John's feelings are about taking that task on. It shows his labor rate at the current rate, and I thought there was discussion about that.
Well, I think there should be some incentive there for him. Absolutely.
I believe so. I think the first question is how comfortable are you that this could work the way we're talking about it? We were looking for your opinion on that.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I strongly believe that if we have our forces over there and vice versa, I'm just afraid that we're gonna be suffering as far as services and not providing the services that we have been providing. When our manpower is there, we can't be doing what we should be doing here. That's what scares me the most, because then all of a sudden, 6 months down the road, how come we were not getting the services we were getting? Well, guess what? Because our manpower is somewhere besides where they should be. The other thing I have, the issue I have is, now we're paying these loaded labor rates. We're basically paying another employee wages for them days, right?
No.
Well,
I
that's,
thought they were paying their people, we were paying ours, which was another thing I wasn't too nuts about.
well, if they're working by us, we're paying them.
Oh,
Right.
right.
Okay, so now, how often is that gonna happen? Now we got a guy that's gonna make, say, $38 an hour loaded labor rate, you know, to come and help on a crew. Are we better off just, you know, sometimes, you're just basically, you're hiring another employee, to me. You know,
Go
so,
back to my biggest concern when we first talked about this and everybody was in favor of not doing the plowing. And all of a sudden, that became a prime issue for them because we understand the logic behind it. But they're hiring part-time people to help with the plowing. Are you comfortable you can fill that void better than they can? I mean, that's where the problems come in.
I don't think we can do that right now. We're not
Another
even.
full-time person, as they talked about.
Yeah, we're not even to the plowing part. We're just working on trying to get, you know,
I thought that was a key factor, because when we went in and said we didn't want that part, that kind of became their driving force, as I understood it. Am I wrong? That was one of the key elements they were looking for?
We haven't talked about plowing yet, Eddie.
No.
Well,
Tom, we
we're
sat over
talking
there, and I
about-
thought you guys went into a meeting. We'd all discussed and, you know, really weren't nuts about tackling because of the goofy configuration.
Right.
When you came back in, plowing came back on the table. Am I mistaken?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We hadn't, what we're trying to do is get a labor rate established. We haven't really gone into the plowing aspect of it yet. As far as I was concerned, we hadn't talked about that yet.
I'm almost positive you came back to that meeting and said plowing was one of their main driving forces when you
It
came back to
was,
the
it
meeting.
is,
So-
yes, but we haven't talked about it.
Oh, okay.
We haven't discussed that with our town board that I know of,
Okay.
on how we're gonna accomplish that.
My assumption was, and maybe I'm wrong here, that if we weren't doing the plowing, this program was a no-go from their standpoint.
That's
Not true?
No.
no.
I suggest we don't do the plowing.
My qualms are what John addressed. If our guys are all over there working, then the work's not gonna get done in the
What are they
town.
gonna be all over there doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, what are they gonna be doing?
They don't
Track-
do much. They've got two and they're on the process of hiring another,
Okay,
okay? And once they hire that person, they're gonna have two people over there. So, and that's pretty much, they've had two full-time and a half.
yeah,
So they're gonna be running pretty much what they're looking for, and I still, you guys don't
Supervisor.
forget that, is a supervisor.
yeah.
Of their people and somebody to go to and make decisions out in the field.
Well, yeah, when they sat here, they said that was their, if we do this, John is gonna run their DPW department and he's gonna run ours. Well, that means he's gonna be out of our community a lot of the times over there either establishing work rules or schedules or just setting up, he's gonna be doing paperwork and everything to keep their department running. How do we take care of John?
That's what we gotta figure out.
Yeah,
I think for right now, what we kind of were agreeing on is we were just gonna use our labor forces back and forth, try and mesh them a little bit. See if we got a bigger project and we need a couple more guys, we
Yeah.
could bring them over, and vice versa. Again, like the crack filling, now, we only have one crack filler, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, we're not crack filling enough here, we run out of time. But now, and they hire theirs out. Well, if we can do theirs, that's great, but I'm just afraid that the time restraint is gonna be tough to get two communities done, what they need to be doing, as far as
Well,
mileage. You still only have
They gave
one
us a
crack.
list of things they didn't do, which we do. Are we under the impression that we're gonna have to do those things for them now, or is that still gonna be up to
No,
them to do it if they want it? Ditch work, crack filling, mowing on the edges?
They're
Where are we
not-
at with
they don't
that?
do
Have we
that.
talked about that at all?
They don't do ditch mowing.
That's what I said. He's talking about crack filling, they don't do crack filling either, from what I understand, right?
they hire it out.
They sub it out.
But okay, they sub it. You'd be in charge of subbing it then.
Well, if it came down to it, but I mean, like I said, we do our own crack filling, so the goal was to try and keep it in-house and save the money. But with only one crack fill machine, it's either gonna be here or there. And that's where I'm struggling. It's gonna be hard to be able to cover two communities. I think there's still gonna have to be some of this stuff is gonna have to be hired out. I don't see where the savings is gonna be
he's not on our end,
on our end. Exactly.
What was the number they said they were gonna save?
250,000.
Yeah, I'd like to see that,
That's what the paper said.
where that number came from. That's tough. No matter how you merge it, that's tough.
John, what is this minimum maximum? Is this assuming they're gonna have 3 full-timers? They're showing 2,080 hours.
No, they're in the process of hiring one. The minimum wage he would be making would be 15, the maximum would be 20. So she's given
For that
both
second
scenarios.
position.
She's given both scenarios for that person, depending on what wage I think they're gonna be coming at.
Okay, so when you're saying the jobs won't get done, you're basically saying with 2 full-timers. I guess I'm wondering, and we never got to that point in our joint meeting, if we are understaffed for the whole project, would the town of Waukesha be willing to fill a 3rd position? I guess that's a cost factor everyone has to look at. Is it starting to be ineffective cost-wise in or not? I don't know.
Right.
But I don't think we ever got to that point in our joint meeting here. I guess we need to ask them if it gets to that point, are they willing to hire a 3rd? I'm personally, I think everyone in this board knows, I don't want to see Vernon hiring, I mean, you guys do good work, but I don't want to see us hiring any more DPW.
All right, I get that, and that's why.
Waukesha is willing to pick up whatever slack there might be by doing joint projects. If that's financially feasible for them, we could fill that void.
But again, that's gonna be more of a payroll burden on us when they're here. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we're gonna have to cover that. Them employees when they're here, and vice versa. They would cover us when we're there. And so I'm just saying, if we bring these guys in and all of a sudden we have an extra guy that's on the payroll, I mean, I know how you feel about that. It's just, that's why I'm having a problem here. Just so
Well,
everybody was aware of that.
They'd only be on our payroll if we were bringing them over here to work with our crew.
Yes,
Now, right now, we handle everything with our 4 guys plus yourself.
right.
So all I'm saying is, if we got to the point where we were spending more time there than what our crew could maintain on our own stuff here, then go to town of Waukesha, have them hire another person. So we don't have that problem. Like you're saying, I can't see bringing someone over here. The only reason we do that if we're short of labor for some strange reason,
Mm-hmm.
then that would be a gap Waukesha would have to fill in.
Right. I mean, I don't have a problem with, moving our guys back and forth as long as everybody's on board with how this is gonna affect, your budget and stuff, so. And like I said, my biggest fear is that, sometimes we're not getting enough done, not getting enough mileage as we should be crack filling per year. And a lot of that has to do with the weather. Sometimes we'll have a rainy week or whatnot. So, I'm just, it's just an example of the crack filling thing. This
Okay, we're
other,
not getting enough done, weather, manpower,
yeah, I'd like to be doing more roads,
okay,
crack filling.
okay.
And the vehicle with the hot box, help expedite that quite a bit though?
That's just for patching roads. That's really not gonna have,
Okay.
and
So it really doesn't matter
it's a
if
pull
tractor
behind
moves?
trailer type, so. It's something that we could use, yes, I mean, but they're
Yeah.
also gonna be using it too at times, so I mean, I think it'd be,
Does anybody understand the open position showing insurance for new hires?
Yeah.
Because I understand that Jerry Noel was not under their insurance plan. What happens there?
Yeah.
We just say that's their side to deal with, or? Okay.
How many
I got a
holes?
yes.
So, can I,
Sure, come on up.
Do we know how many hours Jerry's working right now?
He's salaried, so he, works some days, some weeks he might work 40, some weeks he might work 60, but he, is a salary employee. He
Do
does
you
not
wanna
take.
just state your name
Oh,
and
sorry.
who you are, so people at home know who you
Sure.
are?
It's Kathy Nicholas, clerk treasurer of the town of Waukesha. And, Jerry does not take our insurance, he's on his wife's insurance. The loaded labor rate, that if you were to use Jerry or our new person, would be whatever that cost was loaded. So that's their FICA, their WRS, their, insurance if they take insurance, but it's the actual cost of that employee. Now, if, John came over to the town of Waukesha, and he worked for the town of Waukesha doing some work at his labor rate of,
That will be adjusted if this takes place, obviously.
$38.
Mm-hmm.
And, we would be reimbursing the village, his rate. And if you were to take, use one of our employees at the rate of, $26 to $33, you would reimburse us. So it's not that your budget would increase, because if we're using one of your employees, we're reimbursing you that money. That money is revenue coming in. And then if you happen to use one of our employees, which all of our employees, loaded labor rates are less than all of your employees, except one. And you would pay that labor. So,
You answered the biggest part. I was not aware that Jerry was under his wife's insurance, and that's why he wasn't covered under, I thought it was a
he's made that
benefit, he just
decision,
didn't offer.
he has that choice, and that's the choice.
That's fine. Shouldn't be any haggle in showing somebody else's insurance when young people come in with it. Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me, do you think he's working the fall up to 20, 80 hours per year, or? You know, I know John's concerned here about man hours, and you really don't show any here for Jerry.
Jerry works, he's a salaried employee, so he gets paid the same no matter what he's working. So if he was to work 30 hours, or if he was to work 50 hours, he gets paid the same. So he's a true salary employee, that's what he gets
So
paid.
if he were needed in this joint endeavor, he'd work a full 40 hours.
Right, whatever time that you needed, and if he needed to go back to the town, he would work to Waukesha. He would have to complete those projects this week. Anything else?
I think it would benefit the town because, John's running a four-man crew.
Yeah.
These guys all got vacation. They all got sick time. They all got whatever. I think it would benefit our guys knowing that they would have a pool. And that's basically what it would be. It would be a labor pool to pull from if they needed somebody. Correct, John?
Yes.
And it would be somebody that, they know they can, kick down on. Yeah?
One more question, I hate that, came to me afterwards. I had mentioned what we saw in the paper with that savings figure. Can you explain where that assumption came from?
I can.
No?
I think that's the reporter.
Pipe is okay.
I think, I felt this way going into this in the beginning. We're doing what we can right now to protect our budget and so on, but I don't think we're really gonna know until we get this started.
Gonna have to try it.
Yeah, and then do any adjustments we need to make, and if they work out with the town of Waukesha, I still think this could be a really good thing for everybody, if we can make it work. I'm not saying it will, but you've got some legitimate concerns, and I guess we'll have to tweak it as we go and make sure we're not losing services for our town residents in the meantime. And I think we could ask the town of Waukesha board right up front, if this thing gets out of balance, will they bring a third full-time person? I would think budget-wise they would know that.
Well, I guess we should ask what their opinion is about a trial period. See if we can test this out, work it for 3 months, 6 months, whatever, and see how it goes. Get a feel for, are we both capable of doing what's being asked? And is it being done at a reasonable rate for everybody to make either a break even where we still benefit or the savings?
I understand what you're saying there, Terry. Let's break down the labor here first. Are we okay, because I know there were some says, oh, we should charge them $5 over and 5 this and then 5 that. You gotta remember that whatever we charge them, they're gonna charge us back. So we should get the labor rate down, we should get what we want to ask them for John's time.
Yeah.
Get that nailed down here tonight with the other questions. And then give that back to them and see, okay, do they want to proceed?
You wanna try to nail that down tonight?
Yeah. We got the numbers in front of us.
Well, first thing we gotta ask John is what's it gonna cost to do this? He mentioned he wasn't, comfortable doing it at his current rate, taking on 2 supervisor positions.
Well, he's
so-
gonna take on another supervisor.
Yeah, that's all. whole, another area of responsibility for another whole department.
I would expect to do it the same way.
Not for the same labor rate.
Oh,
What's it gonna take, John? How big a carrot you want?
Ed and I discussed a number that I would be comfortable with, but the $7,000. I threw out there 10 originally, and just to get this conversation started and things rolling.
How would you want that structured? I don't think that should be on the wage. What I would like to see is an incentive. You hit 6 months, everything's going good or something like that, boom, you get a bonus.
Well, quite honestly, right off the bat, I don't think it's gonna be as much as what was initially we were talking about originally. Because if we do what we're talking about now, it's just shuffling men back and forth, that's a whole different ballgame than running a whole nother department.
Well, this is the way we're gonna get started.
Right.
but you know, you'd be responsible for work schedules. Does your supervisor do budgeting for you in the year, equipment needs and things like that for budget? Because you'd probably be responsible for that part as well, I would assume.
Well, right
If you're
now,
supervising.
that's just it. How much do you take Jerry's?
He doesn't do budgeting. Jerry does not do budgeting.
Okay.
You know what you could
No
do?
responsibility then.
Could, within a trial period, keep an itemized hours that you spent on there, and find out, you know, how much time he's in the town of Waukesha, and then we could kind of have an idea.
Will you be able to know that by the hours?
Yeah, you know, it's gonna be a little more paperwork for John. He's gonna have to keep track of his hours and where he's spending it on and how he's spending it. But that would give us a better handle in regard to how.
Well, it's not only John, we've got two competent clerks then.
Yeah.
You might want to run it past Macy, because something in my mind says we talked about a bonus at one time, and a WRS individual is not entitled, you can't put them on a bonus program, I was told. Well, I don't know if that holds true, if that's, I don't remember who said it.
Compensation is
It was a credible
compensation.
force, huh?
Compensation is compensation. The only thing they can't get WRS credit for is like a buyout for health insurance. There's things that qualify for compensation and things that do not, but income is a qualifying factor.
So we're okay that way, we can do it on a bonus basis, if John agrees that's the way he wants to do it.
Well, those are my thoughts. It doesn't have to be a bonus basis. It can be.
Some I'm having trouble hearing you.
We structure it, you know, however you guys decide you want to do it.
Yeah.
I would just like it to be like an incentive for him. All the times when, we were working with people, we wanted them to do more, we hung the carrot out there as incentive, and it seemed to work. Some guys didn't make it, some guys did a lot more.
Right. No, incentive programs are fine, it's up to John.
What do you think about that?
Well,
John?
we'd have to figure something out, how you'd want to structure that, I guess, but
I mean, would you feel comfortable with incentive?
I would, yes. I think right now, we're gonna have to just, like I said, try working together and just see how much time is gonna be involved and how much time we're actually gonna use them and vice versa. I mean, there's gonna be times where, for 2-3 weeks, we might not even need each other. I don't know, you know, and so it's.
Right, then you'd just be over there managing their people
Right.
and seeing what they're doing.
Right.
So,
Yeah, well.
We should establish a number to set the bonus to. In other words, if he says he wanted $1 million a year, we'd have to figure out the hours for a 6-month, 3-month period, what the bonus would turn out to be. Not that we have to figure out what the bonus is at the end of the day and nobody agrees to it.
right.
So when you talked about setting the wages, we should decide what that wage is gonna be and what the bonus ought to be. That way we can give them a number to work with as well. So they're not working with non-known until the bonus is paid.
That's exactly what I wanna do.
Yep. I think that's great.
So it's a shared bonus? Or do we
Sorry,
pay,
shared from
do we
who?
pay the bonus, or do the communities pay this bonus incentive? Who pays it?
The bonus would be split if he's using their time over there and our time over here. So his time over there would be based on the rate of the bonus over whatever period. So he has to give us a number to work with. You and I talked, you had some number in mind.
Well, I told you,
Do you wanna think about it?
I would like to think about it. I know, like I said, Ed and I
It's
talked
kinda hard to
about it.
pull out.
I mean-
Well, you asked for a number.
Well,
Like I said, the reason I threw out
I
the
would put it
other,
high enough.
the other number I threw out, I just wanted to get the discussion rolling all it was, you know, so just to make it aware, you know, there's gonna be,
Well, obviously, Waukesha is looking for something to put their portion together on. So we gotta give them the numbers the next thing that they can work with. We got the budget sheet here, we just need to fill out the gap.
Right.
I got a question though, is Waukesha willing to participate in that,
In the budget, the bonus,
in the bonus
Well,
put
incentive?
it to them, and if they do, great, if they don't,
That needs to be brought up, I
you gotta
think.
give them something to work with first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Then they can tell you yes or no.
Right.
So it's, you can't ask that question until we've given them a number to look at, John.
Okay,
So, don't be bashful, be honest.
Yeah,
Don't come into it and say later, geez, I should've.
give us a high and a low.
Yeah.
High of,
A million?
I threw out there 10,000. You know,
Well, it's a starting figure.
Of
What the
10
hell?
and a low of,
$1.
One,
That was a low, high and a low.
I would
Would you
say,
say
I would
seven?
say 7, yeah,
7?
that's where, we discussed,
Okay.
I thought that was pretty fair.
Okay.
and then you can always say, yeah,
And we can always figure out how to structure that
yeah,
if.
if this
you know,
goes through.
If it goes through.
Yeah.
So now, okay, we got compensation for John, hourlies. Loaded rate, what do you wanna do with that?
Say this again, hourly for John?
No. John will get his hourly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
plus
It's a bonus.
structured bonus.
Yeah.
We'll roll that in, so you have
Right.
an hourly number, sure.
So, now it's hourly wage for our guys. What do you wanna do with that? The loaded rate? I'm fine with that. To see how it works out. If our
Yeah.
guys are over there,
They'll pay the rate.
they're paying what our guys get.
Yeah. Just a matter of them working in a different community.
That's,
Yeah. I'm not trying to make, outrageous amount of
well,
money.
we're trying to make it work is what
Yeah,
we're trying to do.
basically.
Well, test it and see if it's a benefit to everybody, otherwise
Exactly.
we're wasting time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
And we gotta get something going because it's already March.
Yep.
on March 5th, they want to put about, nice group of applicants, 120.
120 applicants
Right.
for the part-time, for that open position?
Yeah.
That many people out of work or what? I thought
No,
everybody,
that many retired people looked at that dollar and
I
said,
thought everybody was employed.
thinking about it myself.
You couldn't handle it.
I couldn't handle it, you're right. To be on hold.
Yeah,
So-
you're right. Okay,
Do we need to discuss anything else on wages? That seems to be,
yeah,
everybody's in agreement, or?
Yep.
yep.
Done.
All right. So, I will be then talking with Town of Waukesha,
Okay,
their
good.
town chairman, or probably Mike,
Yeah.
and see where we go from here.
Yep,
See how they feel about this,
yeah.
and see what we're gonna wanna do with that, all right? All right. So, we're gonna use these labor rates that are on here, correct?
Yep.
You want to nail down a duration for the test period, or you want to leave that open at this point in time? Okay, discuss it with them, see what their feedback is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want a trial period, that's what this is gonna be, and we want 7 to 10 for John for a loaded labor rate, or for not, for a bonus, And then we're gonna use these for the labor rates for when they're working here and when we're working there.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
On, this might have been answered at one of the other meetings, but on workers' comp, so our guys are working town of Waukesha, someone's injured over there, or vice versa. Is it where you're injured, or is it your
Your employer, employer covers you, even if you're over there or.
Where?
You guys.
liability?
Okay.
Each town covers it. They get hurt over there, so
Okay, any more discussion? John, you have anything to add to that?
No,
Okay. Item I, temporary Class B retail license for Vernon Evangelical Lutheran Church.
Request a table?
Request.
Request a table that to the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Item J, operator bartender's license, that one too, table?
No, that one's ready to go, sir.
Okay, operator bartender license for Sherry Higgins.
Mr. Chairman, everything's in order. All fees have been paid. The background check is in full compliance. She is certified for her class, so it's my request that the town board approve the bartender operator's license for Sherry Higgins.
Make a motion to approve bartender's license for Sherry Higgins.
One second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item K, authorize town chairman to sign the impact lease form. Madam Clerk.
This was, should have been part of the 5-page agreement that was signed by the board previously. All this is an addendum indicating that there's government pricing for the new equipment that we have. So it's an indication that that we are allowed, we're a government entity, we'll get the government pricing, and it's something that should have been part of the initial agreement.
So was the government pricing originally offered, or is this a discount on top of what we had approved prior?
It's in conjunction of what you approved.
So that was the government pricing that we got?
Yes, yes, but this just indicates that we are a government, we pay our bills, we're
Doesn't
exempt.
change anything number-wise on the original contract?
Nope.
Okay.
But they asked me to sign it, and I said I don't sign anything, so you'd have to authorize Chairman Byrd to sign it.
Okay.
Oh, looking for a motion.
Make a motion to authorize the town chairman to sign the impact, lease for impact, so this impact lease?
Yes.
I'll
Sign the
second it.
impact lease form.
Yeah, as presented.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Request, this is item L, request to change publication notice for noxious weeds.
Mr. Chairman, I did contact Carol Naraki from the Wisconsin Towns Association. Currently in our ordinance, we're required to do a publication like cities and villages. State statutes does not require that to be done. It's not a big amount. We share this with other communities, but be quite honest, I don't know anyone that goes to a newspaper to see, you know, what is a noxious weed. We post it on the website, we put it in our newsletter, we post it inside and outside the town hall. So my request is that the town board would ask the clerk to redraft the ordinance to reflect that we are not required to put this as a class 1 notice in the newspaper. But again, it's not a lot of money, but it's just the principle of the money.
And then we've got the word may in there instead of shall.
Well, I would, in speaking with Attorney Macy when we were reviewing the agenda, he indicated that I should redraft it in a different format, you know, and so that's what I would do, is based on what John suggested, bring that to you for your review so that you can see that we would not be required to do a publication, a class 1 in a newspaper. We would still publicize it, but just not in a newspaper, because we're not required to.
You can get that done by next meeting?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Was there a motion to direct the clerk to rewrite that?
So we're gonna revise chapter 295?
Yep, just a motion to,
Why don't you make the motion?
okay, I make the motion
I got it.
to, update.
You want to read the motion, Madam Clerk?
Yeah.
Supervisor Gary Wilde moved to direct the clerk to redraft the ordinance for noxious weeds as stated by the town attorney.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
Now, we're only changing shall to may.
No, we're using the verbiage recommended by the town attorney.
Okay,
Right.
because I was gonna ask, according
Yeah.
to this,
That's all
there's
I
a lot of
saw.
explanation.
He
beyond
gave me some cleaning, so it'll be cleansed based upon, and typically, I draft the ordinance for you, you look at it, and then you send it to the attorney. I never send it beforehand unless you feel it's urgent and you direct me, but typically I draft it, you look at it to see, oh, I like it or I don't like it, and then you send it, because it's a law, so you eventually send it to John.
Maybe.
Okay.
So any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item M, Vernon Fire Department dress clothing and protective clothing policy. Supervisor 3.
This was brought up, it started with the DPW, when vests were needed for the road crew, and we saw this being used, which it should be, it's safety equipment, et cetera. And we said, what do we offer? And nobody could answer what we had authorized the department to purchase under the budget. So I thought that was kind of important, that if this is gonna spend town money on this stuff, we ought to identify what it is we're spending it on. So we have written Karen, what we put together for DPW, you put together for DPW for us, how's it being tracked?
Based upon the DPW director, that's his department. So what we did do is we obviously gave the policy to John, and that's being facilitated under his administration.
Okay, but it is tracked as a policy.
Oh, absolutely. And absolutely, and John follows that to the T.
Then on the same course, I'd like to have one drafted for the fire department, showing what they have, clothing allowance for the budget, as well as I understand, talking to them, that beyond the clothing allowance, which basically goes into safety, the right
Protective.
line identification, safety clothing, something along those lines. There's also a dollar figure associated with rank. You get so much as a captain, so much as a assistant captain, and I don't know what the duration for that is, if it's repeated every so many years or whatever, but I think all that has to be structured and put into something where going forward we know it, because when I mentioned that to this crew, nobody remembered that being discussed. So it should be put down someplace where it can be referenced later on, and boards following us will be able to look at this and say, well, that's why it's done that way, and be consistent with it. The other thing is, in the case like John, he gets so much for safety boots, and it hasn't been adjusted in quite some time. You can't buy safety boots basically for what we're offering, so we need to adjust that. This is the type of thing you ought to be looking at budget time. So it's not, we're not persecuting somebody with this, we're trying to put it in order, so it's a budgetized item, and people here know what has to be done. If safety clothing goes up, that's a given. By law, we provide safety clothing. But if there's other things, you get $300 for something, $200, what's it for, and what are we doing with it? Are we increasing it periodically, or are we not? Just so that's done consistently and throughout the group. Same with him.
So what you're saying, Eddie, is you want
Policy,
to know what the perks are.
yes,
It's a perk, it's,
exactly.
it's
Not a
for.
perk. It's a line item
Yeah.
budget.
Sorry?
It's not a perk, it's a line item budget.
No, it's not. It's in protective clothing. When we're trying to talk those shirts and pants and stuff like that, you're putting that in protective clothing, and that's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to have a separate category.
No, church and pants and stuff, even that. But there was other stuff that went into protective clothing, equipment stuff. It was
Oh,
just
that was-
mislabeled.
That was a,
It was
we'd have to make a
mislabeled.
journal, and that happens.
We're not worried about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. There was a couple hoses.
Delineation between
Yeah.
protective clothing and regular, can we have done?
He's the one that takes care of the,
Somebody who handles, the clothing here.
You want another chair, John?
Yeah.
Or I could stand for.
Yeah.
What happened to her?
So,
That's where the problem is. We don't understand how you guys are.
It's not on. You got, John, can you push the bottom button? There's a little, see that little, there, John's coming.
In the top.
It's not on. That green, there it
There you
goes.
go.
There
I
it
got
goes.
it.
Now turn.
there, better?
yeah, keep it close.
Okay, in regards to the fire department with our clothing line item budget, when we split the department, that was a carryover from, the old department. It was just classified as protective equipment. That includes everything from our protective equipment for firefighting, rescue, and also uniforms. So all of that money's been budgeted and has been put into that account since we've, split the department, and before that. So that, if anything, that should be probably reclassified as a protective clothing / uniform account.
Okay.
That's all, and that's what it's been forever.
Yeah, but see, that's where we had the problem. Protective clothing to us is the bunker pants, a helmet, and bunker and turnout gear.
Boots, turnout gear, basically.
Not the other alternate clothing like
Dress
for dress
uniforms.
uniforms and stuff, jackets, stuff like that.
That's all, yeah,
That's
that's
not
all.
protective. you
We
know.
have, since we've split the department, we've done all of that under
Now,
that
see,
line item.
I mentioned that, and there are members here that were on the board at the time that didn't remember anything about it, so that's why we'd like to.
I don't think the
get
question ever
clarification.
came up before, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I don't think the question ever came up before, to be honest with you.
Well, you said it was discussed and decided on back when they split.
Right, and we,
Between who?
and also internally, our staff determined how much we were gonna pay our people based on the direction of the chairman at the time, which was, I think, Mike Doble, that, it was our prerogative to say how much a person should get. What we do is, Battalion Chief Kubaki administers our clothing, portion of our department, and he tracks through a system the reimbursement for each employee. Each employee who's a line firefighter gets $100 per year to help pay for their uniform equipment.
We didn't know that.
Which includes boots,
I did when I
shoes.
talked to him, but
Yeah.
that's, you know, when we were looking over that budget and saw that line item and nobody could understand what it was, I think it's important to get this down on paper so that later on, by the way, Doble wasn't chairman.
Or Fred, I believe it's Fred.
Fred was. And I think it's important, we did it for the DPW, that way everybody knows what it is. If adjustments are to be made to those dollar figures, the board would make them, not the fire department. Your budget is structured around that, so
in essence, we
Right,
give you a
and-
budget and you can do what you want, we don't
And
wanna
that-
do it that way.
Well, that
We wanna
was-
know where it's
That was
going.
the direction we were originally given, was make it work. And
Yeah,
that's what we've done for the last 8 years, is we've
That's what I'm
operated.
saying.
It's
But
been
is
prior-
that still working for you?
Yeah,
now?
absolutely.
yeah, it's still, it's prior to that, matter of fact, people will spend more than that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna
the
say-
boots I'm wearing is more than, you know. we've seen that come through on the invoices
Right.
where you only pay a certain amount even though it's
Exactly,
higher.
and
So
because you
there's no
hit the line
question
of,
or argument here.
and that's only for the ones they submit, there's other stuff people buy during the course of the year. But when, prior to us breaking apart and becoming Vernon, it was always in a line item budget also. We would put, we need 5 sets of bunkers, that's gonna be $2,500, we're gonna need this, and we walked it down, so many sets of gloves,
I know.
gloves, new recruit.
Trust me.
And actually, the clothing was in there, it said, dress clothing. So much for jackets, I can pull out one from 2006, probably still in my office, that
And
shows
we're
how
not
we come
disputing
up with
whether
a
dress
line
clothing ought to
item.
be in there, we just wanna put a name and a number on it so that
Yeah,
we can
that's
track it.
Yeah.
From here out,
See, and it was just tracked under that budget.
Right.
Protective
And
clothing,
again,
because that's where it fell into one budget.
that protective clothing, line item also includes things like our mandated flow tests for our self-contained breathing apparatus. If we need a new mask for a person.
safety equipment.
All those safety-related things.
I think that's how the
that we have a
statute reads.
responsibility and by state mandate have to supply to someone.
Right. We're not debating that at all.
No, I know, but that's
We
what
want this written down in a form where we could look at it and say, this is what's done.
right. And
Yeah.
that's how we've done it since we established in 2010, so.
Can you provide Karen with something that says, all protective clothing we understand by statute is covered, including apparatus? Not a debate, not a question. Just when we start talking $300 for a chief or whatever, $100 for a chief, 50, 25, we'd like to know what that division is. And the frequency. Is that every year?
Yearly, and it doesn't carry over, so if you don't spend it, and we
Right.
don't push people to turn in receipts and spend it. If you don't buy anything, don't go, hey, Tommy's still got
Well, that'd be
$100
nice
to spend, you wanna go buy something?
Expires
No,
at
we
the end
don't
of the
do
year,
it,
but
yeah.
not spent.
Exactly.
Because all of a sudden you see, like it used to be with our prior chief, 90% of the budget got wiped out in the last 2 months.
Right.
Totally unacceptable.
Right.
You know, a budget split into,
When you need stuff.
yeah. So we don't want to get into that issue again. So we just want to be able to understand what's going on in the budget. And for tracking clothing and such, it came up over there, like I say, because we knew all of a sudden this clothing became available for safety out on the reflective clothing. It was obvious people needed that. And we started looking at this and saying, well, we better add this so everybody knows it's part of what they're provided every time, and the frequency. Same thing with you guys, we want to get that, so I'd ask you to give Karen something in writing with those numbers. Don't worry about the protective clothing, you have a line item. If you want to put that in that same category, your dress clothing all, I don't know, would you prefer to see that broken out?
Oh, it's easy just to put a slash uniforms, because it's protective it's always been, and
I
just
mean,
put
we-
slash
yeah,
uniforms.
Yeah.
And you can see, I can pull, since I've been here, since 2013, every line item, you know, just as you stated, what goes in there, so that'd be so
Oh, we
easy
see
to
the
do.
invoices on everything.
Right.
So it's
So that'd be easy,
no
very
brainer as
easy
far
to
as
do.
tracking.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
should have the spreadsheet. that
Oh,
shows
God, yes.
Every name.
Every
And then
item.
there's even, we actually budget for X amount of new hires, so when we put it in, that we're covered
Yep,
if they come aboard.
yep.
John, from a tracking standpoint, I spent quite a bit of time trying to run down that last invoice we questioned,
Yeah.
because I know it said dress jacket, dress pants, I can't find it. So,
Is it,
I'll-
is it the dress jackets for the guy? And
what I'd
I
like
don't
to
know what
do,
they named it.
if
It's
we're
the
buying
duty
multiple
jacket.
items, and you're tracking anyway, can you put the name of the individual that it's being purchased for?
It's
Yeah,
usually on the
it's- yeah.
invoice because I say
No, it
reimbursement.
wasn't on that one.
It depends on how, some things are ordered in bulk. So
Yeah.
some things that don't have a name assigned to them, we'll order in bulk to save money,
Like what?
like a
Like
sweatshirt
these, or
or
if we
t-shirts
got
or
6 new
jackets.
guys coming aboard, so they have their
Order those things
duty
in bulk.
jackets, so you get 6 of them, just like my last name is, so when we go and they're all tossed in a pile to put on your stuff, you don't end up with my stuff and.
Right.
A lot of times it says new hires, or, I mean, when they do
Yeah.
multiples like that.
Okay, so with all this being said, what are we gonna do for the agenda item. It says Vernon Fire Department dress clothing and protective clothing policy. What do you guys wanna do with that?
I'd like to create a policy, like we did with the DPW, and have them give Karen the input of what they believe is allocated for clothing right now. You just brought up sweaters again for
I'll show you.
everybody, and you said t-shirts to me. Everybody that comes to work gets a t-shirt, gets a, is that out of that $100? Okay.
No,
That's, okay, here we go again. It's on top of. See, this is where it gets confusing. What comes out of where? Is that gonna come out of the same line item?
It all comes out of the same line.
comes out of
item.
protective clothing.
All
Yeah,
comes out of the same line.
and
item.
and the policy is really simple.
Yeah.
We'll get something for
I
them
mean,
to
and,
look
and
at.
again, we're following, like you said, some of the state mandate stuff we have to do.
Oh,
Plus, we have our internal SOP stuff for, we have a uniform appearance. You're
Yeah.
on duty, you have to wear a uniform.
yeah.
You make an employee do that, you're supposed to provide that to them. So this is, but we do the reimbursement because we give them some flexibility. If a person likes a certain type of sweatshirt,
Yeah.
wants a long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, different
Your
pants.
pants were on.
That's all
So we're all
fine,
good.
but what I'm trying to do is get what
A
we're gonna
policy.
do for this line item, policy.
We need a written
Who's gonna pen
description.
that?
I'll start it. What I did for John is I drafted it, had John tweak it. That's what I'll do. I'll draft it, have Alex tweak it, and then present it after it's good with the chief, because it'll be really simple.
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
just review it as a command staff and send it back.
right.
That works.
It'll be real easy. And if the board doesn't mind, I'll put a slash on protective clothing / uniform in the budget, so it's clear.
As a line item?
I actually put it in, I'll change my software now that you see protective
390, give it a
clothing.
number,
Number.
390.
Right,
Give it a
It'll-
number.
yeah, I'll just put a / uniform.
Howard will go nuts, but.
Keep it one symbol.
You happy with that, Ed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just me, how about the rest of the board? You all satisfied we got something practical now?
I'm
thank
satisfied
you.
with it. Okay.
I'm not running.
So we're gonna, you can have that for next,
Yep, as long as,
so we'll put that as a item on the agenda for the 15th? All right. Item N, Vernon Fire Department Vehicle Maintenance Supervisor 3.
This came up on one of the invoices, and I'd like to put this, table this to the closed session.
Okay.
because of security issues.
I'm sorry?
Because of security issues?
Yeah.
All right, correspondence. I've got this, received this here from the Waukesha County Business Alliance. You guys take a look at that. That's all I had. Gary?
No, just a lot of inquiries, which, because of that rain, of the washout on the road, which John's gonna address probably in his report, but try to piece people that it was something that happens, the road was closed for a couple of days, and the inconvenience of driving around was one of the things that have to live with. Other than that, I didn't have anything else.
Nothing at this time.
Bill?
Oh, I'm pretty quiet.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
Just wanted to thank all the people that came out for this election, and I apologize for running out of ballots. We had, we kept up, but had no idea we'd have the turnout that we did. Just wanted to remind everybody that absentee voting will begin soon in the clerk's office. And just wanted to implore people, if they do get an absentee ballot in the mail, please, please, please get that in the mail way before, or drop it off at the town. We had so many ballots. Once they go into the U.S. Postal Service, we have no control. And there was a lot of people that were upset that their absentee ballots, if they're not here on the election day, April 3rd, we can't count them. There's no dispensation. And if there's any question, we just ask people to drop them off here. We have a secure mailbox outside of the town hall. And I just need to ask the board at some point, or if we could talk at staff, it's, when the elections are in February or November, there's a lighting issue and a safety issue. We had some like not bad accidents, but the lighting at the fire department and the town hall, in the parking lot, there's very inadequate lighting. So if we could bring that up at staff, just to talk about some type of additional lighting. I don't know if just to talk about it. The other thing, I don't know if you saw that the City of Brookfield is hosting a storm watcher training on Monday, the 26th of March at the City of Brookfield at 6:30. So anybody that's interested in storm chasing.
Contact Jay.
Yeah.
He was copied on the email.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, public health and safety.
Because I was waiting for a phone call.
And then you all saw the deadline on the newsletter. Next newsletter's coming up.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
When is that deadline?
April 13th. So if you could get your letters in.
Do you have the turnout results, how many people voted?
Yeah.
I think at the fire station was 24.6%, and at the town hall we had two different reporting units here, and that was like 25.9. But we estimated, when we look at the last 5 elections, we had no idea. It was like an average of 19%, and we had people they usually use that touch machine. But the residents were great. When we actually ran out of ballots here, we didn't run out at the fire station, but we ran out here, so fun.
People in Vernon vote.
John?
No correspondence, really. I just got, if you want to go into my report.
Yeah.
Well, I know, like you said, Gary brought up the whole Big Bend Road project there. What happened over there was the culverts that were in a ditch on the east side of the road were probably about 4 feet underground, buried and full of dirt. Been filled for a long time. And all the frozen ground, basically, all the water runoff just kind of went to the side of the road, found its way down through the gravel and along the fiber optic line that was bored across the road, and it just followed that across and basically came out the bank on the west side, which would have been Big Bend side. So we were both involved in the Big Bend and us working together to try and resolve this. So we both had equipment up there, we both had manpower up there and time. Half of the road was ours, half of the road is theirs. Comes off of the corner of the intersection right where the east and west line comes. It was just all, it's hard to say who's there really, so but basically we dug out all the stuff that was silted out and replaced it with some 3/4 TV and packed it down. So I think we should be good. We will have some ditch work that needs to be done yet on the east side of the road going down past the cemetery. Hopefully that will avoid any other problems there in the future.
Is there any possibility of restitution for because I thought possibly there was some mishandling of the installation of the fiber optics.
That's still in the air. I know they contacted Spectrum. Spectrum was out there. They're denying anything. DeLuca, I think, did the boring originally. I'm not sure if that was them, but they were there, and they stated that, well, how do we know there was a culvert there? Because they ran the fiber optic line through a culvert, a driveway culvert that was there. Granted, that culvert was full of dirt and buried about 4 feet under the time that they ran it through there. And that was 2010. So it's been there for almost 8 years. I'm not sure if that's, I'm not going to say if that was a problem or not, but so that's still in play. They're talking with them, yes.
Okay.
So how did, they went through a culvert. Culvert runs, for all intent and purposes, north-south.
North-south, right.
They went east and west.
And the fiber optic went east and west.
Mm-hmm.
So it undermined the driveway only, but you tore the whole road out.
No, it undermines the shoulder of the road. Didn't do anything by the driveway where the culvert was. It was actually west of the culvert towards the road, about 3 feet towards the road. Right at the shoulder of the road is where the water started going down. It was actually a sinkhole down there. You could see down there about 4 feet, a hole this big. So it was actually undermining the road. So where they actually bored through that culvert, I didn't see anything that was eroding there. Granted, it was froze solid. So, I mean, that whole area, the hill was frozen solid there.
Did anybody photograph what was going on there?
We've got a lot of photos, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, I think the statute, the limitations, I don't know what they have for liability issues on that. That's 8 years old. 2010 is when they did the boring. So, I think, like I said, I know we're in contact with
How
Spectrum.
many man hours did you spend there?
I had, well, between the 3 guys, I had 44, 60, about 63 hours. And then I had a backhoe that was 16 hours, a dump truck 5 hours, and a loader of 3 hours. And I know Big Ben had basically a similar amount of time. And we have probably, I'm guessing, right, couldn't get a bill from him for the gravel. I'm guessing to be about $2,000 for gravel. And a piece of pipe that was $56 that we replaced that culvert with. We also had to have Muskego out with their jetter truck to jet those culverts out, so we could get the water flowing once we dug the ditches out. So
What did they do?
they had a vac truck that'll jet the culverts out.
Oh,
So it's high pressure water, so there's gonna be an expense with that. But for right now, Eric and I kind of agreed that we could just split the cost of any kind of materials involved 50-50, and we'd both be happy with that. So once we get a final bill for the gravel and stuff, we can look at that. So
that coming to us, and you're gonna give him,
he's getting the bill for the gravel.
Oh, he is, okay.
Yep, and we got 13 loads, I believe, that we took out of there that we dumped. So there'll be a cost for the dumping, for the new gravel, and that piece of pipe that we picked up, so.
Took that fill over by Asian.
That culvert has not been working for 25 years.
I believe that.
When you look at the cavity that thing's down in, and even now we got a vertical bank, we've got to almost swale that whole thing,
Right.
north and south.
Right, we're just waiting till it thaws out a little bit so we can get in there and see what we can do with it. 'Cause, yeah, we have to open that up. The culvert under the cemetery is actually a concrete pipe, which is probably only 10 inches around, which is not sufficient.
So not adequate.
So we'll have to look into seeing about replacing that at some point, and who's gonna pay for that.
Isn't it the county? I'm sorry.
I don't know,
I think that's county right away. Isn't it?
in front of the
That whole
cemetery.
corner is a
mess.
It is such a mess, we don't know who's.
Jurisdiction.
I'll show you a map.
If
Well, we
it's-
got some issues there.
Yeah. So we do have some ditch work to resolve there, definitely. But another thing I want to say is we're putting the weight limit signs up tomorrow, effective on Monday. We're going to start enforcing the weight limits. So, and I know we have a lot of potholes to repair because of this washout and the extra weather issues that we've had. So we're getting there. We're just trying to get as fast
Be a
as we
good
can.
place to borrow town of Waukesha's hot box and patch that road when it's time.
Yeah, actually, like I said, we got to patch that once it warms up too, so.
Okay, fire chief's report.
It was emailed 2/5. Karen, you didn't get it?
Hmm.
It was emailed, the monthly report was emailed in 2/5. You guys, so we'll re-forward that to you. Typical of most months we've had, pretty steady call volume. Went through a couple structure fires in the month of January. That's pretty much about it.
Were you on did you guys call this one tonight? It was right by the fire station generally?
Nashville 160.
They eventually called us for an intercept for pain management.
Okay, was that by the freeway or?
It was on 164, right under the
Okay.
freeway, I guess.
No, they had the road shut down.
Took them quite a while to get
I
there.
was gonna be late.
Yeah.
For coffee.
So you guys had to stand and watch till you were officially
Again,
called?
yeah. Great system.
What is this?
You say the reports are mailed?
It was emailed on 2/5, I can re-forward it again.
Very good.
Okay, thank you. Finance, accounts payable dated March 1st. Any questions, corrections?
I had one quick question, because I didn't understand. I saw non-sufficient funds on the bank statement. Is that someone sent us a check that bounced, or how? I didn't quite
Yep.
understand how that worked.
Yep, 3 of them,
3 of them,
by 1 resident. And we collect that.
do we?
Last month, there was an NSF for a building, yeah, before they get, yeah, we collect those.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't seen that before, so I, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, there was one last month, but when the bank
Nasty,
statement's
that.
that big, you know.
Yeah.
And nasty to get an NSF check to a government facility, because you're gonna get your money one way or another.
Yeah. Any questions?
I'd like to go.
Buys time.
I'll make a motion, get straight here, to approve batch number 2018-0301 in the amount of $51,695.25.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
I'm gonna abstain, since I'm listed as one of the payees in the APs. Be voting for my own money.
For an election inspector, who does a very good job.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Annual checks.
There's just the one, it's, I mean, you technically approved it last, your last,
So the one that's
APs.
missing.
Yeah, but it's the one that they never got, so it's a manual check in the amount of $1,393.43 that you've already
You
approved.
need this one signed?
You already did that.
So we just cancel the last one and issue this one now?
I stopped payment on the last
You
one.
needed a motion to approve this?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the manual check in the amount of $1,393.43 to Capital One Bank
That is correct, sir.
to replace check number, whatever that was.
6388.
Second. 63.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. ACH transactions for January.
If there's no questions, I'll make the motion to approve, Town of Vernon Source Journal Summary ACH in the amount of $110,637.12. No, yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
That's perfect.
Good. Saw three numbers, I was making sure I got the right one.
Just reading one in the middle.
Support.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Financial statements, any questions? None? Accounts receivable, aging? Any questions?
See your comment on here, Karen. I think it's about time we,
Take him to court.
yeah.
I was questioning why, up on top, we got one from 2015. 220, in the same range, why don't we take them in too?
I was gonna write them a letter to let them know that you're gonna discuss this.
Oh, we haven't done a letter on this one yet?
Yeah, we have, but this would be the letter saying that the town board is going to discuss,
Okay.
possible court
Legal
action.
Yeah.
Is this still from, is that signed?
Yeah, one of
Yeah.
them. Two of the other boys paid and one, I shouldn't say boys, men.
Yeah. Send them a letter. Last one.
It's gonna cost them a lot more than $200.
Yeah,
Wow. Oh,
but Howard likes you to see that
yeah.
aging report.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Town minutes.
I just had one thing, Karen, on the minutes. I'm sorry I didn't talk to you sooner, but under my comments there, it said, he has numerous complaints regarding snow plowing in the town. I don't have any complaints about the town plowing. What I have is people plowing snow into the town roads. That's all. If the residents, it makes it sound like I'm questioning John's plowing ability, and I wasn't. I was questioning the people that were plowing snow.
Clarify that, you never get out of your driveway again.
You know where you live.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to clarify.
Thank you.
Any other corrections or additions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 15th, at 6 PM.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next meeting day is March 15th, 6 o'clock. Public comments, are there any public comments? Any public comments? Well, for sure there are no public comments, so. Motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
As stated by the town chair earlier in the meeting? As stated by the town chair.
As stated by the town chair.
We'll need a roll call vote.
There wasn't a second.
I'll second it.
Chairman Thomas Byrd,
Yes.
Supervisor Gary Wildy, Supervisor Ed Moline,
Yes.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll note for record that you have a unanimous voice vote in regards to going into closed session.
All right, go into closed session at 7:58. Take your mics off and we'll have a 10-minute recess.